Disaster can occur anywhere, anytime. Our awareness and alertness can help save lives of millions of people and prevent physical disabilities in the absence of timely professional help. First aid is the initial assistance or treatment given to a casualty for any injury or sudden illness before the arrival of an ambulance, doctor or professional medical help. Timely first aid can preserve life, limit the effects of the condition, and provide immediate recovery from injuries.
In case of an emergency,
one should immediately summon help. First aid measures can then be initiated, depending on the circumstances. First aid could be given by a trained person who knows the right techniques and can remain calm during emergencies. First aid can be used for emergencies such as breathing and airway obstruction, cardiopulmonary resuscitation, wounds and bleeding, fracture, head injury, spinal injury and sprain, burns and shock, snake bites and heat stroke. A volunteer must remember D, R, A, B, C as the action plan for giving first aid. D is for danger, R is for response, A is for airway, B is for breathing, and C is for circulation. Let's begin with the action plan of handling an emergency. Step 1. Assess the accident scene. Ask someone to call for medical assistance.
Hello, Munis? Yes. आगे के just साथ एक accident हुआ है, serious accident है. हाँ, कोई गाड़ी वाला मार गया उसे. हाँ जी. ठीक है. Yes, yes. Just आगे के साथ.
Before providing first aid, make sure the casualty, you and any bystanders are safe. Step 2. Assess the casualty. Check the casualty for a response and conscious state. Gently shake the shoulders and ask loudly, "Are you all right?"
Hello.
Try talking to the casualty and check for any identification and contact details. Reassess the casualty from head to toe to determine any vital signs of injury, consciousness, breathing, pulse, and skin color. Step 3. Check the airway and breathing condition of the casualty. Gently tilt the head back. Check the casualty's breathing and the mouth for any obstruction. If there is any obstruction in the casualty's airway, then open the mouth and scoop the material out. Keeping the airway open, look, listen, and feel for normal breathing for no more than 10 seconds. Look for chest movement. Listen for breaths at the casualty's mouth. Feel for air on your cheek. Step 4. If the casualty is not breathing normally, give rescue breaths. Tilt the head of the casualty and place a filter on his mouth. Take a normal breath and place your lips around the casualty's mouth, ensuring a good seal. Blow steadily into the mouth and watch for the chest to rise and fall. Give a total of 2 effective rescue breaths. Check the pulse. Step 5. Check the casualty's circulation. The volunteer could render cardiopulmonary resuscitation to the casualty only if the casualty's heartbeat or breathing has stopped. Combine chest compression with rescue breaths if rescue breaths alone do not make the chest rise as in normal breathing. If required, one could open the upper clothing. Place the heel of one hand in the center of the casualty's chest. Place the heel of your other hand on top of the first hand and interlock the fingers. Position yourself above the casualty's chest and with your arms straight, press down on the sternum to achieve the full compression depth of 4 to 5 centimeters.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30.
Do not apply pressure on the ribs, upper abdomen, or the bottom end of the sternum. Wait for the chest to recoil after each compression. After 30 compressions, open the airway by giving 2 rescue breaths, maintaining the head tilt. Continue with chest compressions and rescue breaths in a ratio of 30:2. Do not interrupt resuscitation till breathing is normal. Cardiopulmonary resuscitation for children. In case the victim is a child, remove any obstruction from the mouth. Check the pulse, tilt the casualty's head, and check the breathing. Give 5 initial rescue breaths before starting chest compressions. Check pulse and breathing again. If not breathing, open the upper clothing and start chest compressions. Give 30 compressions using one or both hands for a child as needed to achieve an adequate depth of compression.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Compress the chest by approximately 1/3 of its depth.
3, 4, 5.
Allow the chest to recoil completely after each compression. Give 2 rescue breaths. Take approximately the same amount of time for compression and relaxation. In case of an infant under 1 year of age, use 2 fingers for compressions in the ratio of 30:2. Compression rate refers to the speed at which compressions are given, not the total number delivered in each minute. If you are unable or unwilling to give rescue breaths, continue with just chest compressions.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
After the action plan, place the victim in a recovery position. Kneel beside the casualty. Place the casualty in a lateral position with his legs straight. Place the back of the farther hand of the casualty against his cheek. Place his nearer arm straight or at right angles to the body. Roll the casualty onto the side by pulling the farther leg towards you. Bend the upper leg from the knee at a right angle. Tilt the head to make sure the airway remains open. Adjust the hand under the cheek. If the casualty has to be kept in the recovery position for more than 30 minutes, turn him to the opposite side to relieve the pressure on his lower arm. For infants, the recovery position should be done carefully. Cradle the infant in your forearms with the head slightly tilted sideways and sloping downwards. Support the head and back with your forearms. A volunteer must recognize choking and airway obstruction by a foreign body. One must not confuse the signs with fainting, heart attack, seizure, or other conditions causing sudden respiratory distress, cyanosis, or loss of consciousness. Foreign bodies may cause mild or severe airway obstruction. In case of choking and mild airway obstruction, encourage the casualty to cough out the obstruction. In case of severe choking, stand to the side of the casualty. Support his chest with one hand and lean him forward. Give up to 5 sharp blows between his shoulder blades with the heel of your palm. Check to see if the object has come out. If 5 back blows fail to relieve the airway obstruction, give up to 5 abdominal thrusts. Stand behind the casualty. Clench your fist and place it between the navel and the bottom end of the sternum. Grasp the fist with your other hand and pull sharply inwards and upwards. Repeat up to 5 times, alternating with 5 back blows. If the casualty becomes unconscious, support the casualty carefully to the ground. Begin cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Abdominal thrusts can cause serious internal injuries. Casualty receiving abdominal thrusts require medical aid. If first aid is not given in time for excessive bleeding, it may lead to infections, complications, and in certain cases, even death. In case of bleeding, raise and support the injured part by raising it above the heart level. Cover the wound with a sterile dressing and apply firm pressure to it. Bandage the wound firmly. Apply another dressing if bleeding continues. If the bleeding continues after the second dressing, remove both the dressings and apply a fresh dressing. Ensure the pressure is applied accurately to the point of bleeding. In case of a foreign body such as glass in the wound, raise the injured part and support it while maintaining pressure sideways. Place a ring pad around the wound and cover it with a bandage. If any body part has been severed, put it in a clean and dry plastic bag. Place it in ice indirectly. You must immediately send the body part with the casualty to the hospital for treatment. Mild to moderate bleeding from cuts and scrapes could be stopped if washed and dressed firmly. A fracture always necessitates attention of a doctor. Immediate first aid can protect the bone and the rest of the body from further damage. In case of a simple fracture, immediately immobilize the injured area by supporting the limb. Place padding along the injured limb. Pass broad bandages above and below the fracture under the natural hollows of the body to prevent movement in the joints. Tie a sling around the neck and support the limb on the sling.